Hey, soul fam, how you doing? We're gonna spin the wheel, see whose turn it is. It's late, it's like midnight here, a little after, but you know, I do as I'm guided. Ophiuchus. All right, so for those of you not familiar with Ophiuchus, it's the lost 13th zodiac sign. Ophiuchus is the serpent slayer. Like, Ophiuchus is the constellation that reminds us that we can conquer our demons. Which blows my mind that it's the forgotten zodiac sign. It's like they planned that shit. But Ophiuchus is fucking cool. And I'll pull up the exact placements for you. Give me just a second because I got to look this shit up. I have not committed it to memory. Ophiuchus. If you were born between November 29th and December 17th, or have placements at 15 degrees Sag to 3 degrees Capricorn. If you have any placements in your chart between 15 degrees Sag and 3 degrees Capricorn, you have Ophiuchian placements, which is some seriously powerful medicine. So, seriously powerful medicine. They will remind you that you could slay your demons. Is essentially what it is. Let's see what other signs or placements and planets may be significant for you, especially if you're cross-watching. We've got Pisces. We've got Mars. And the 7th house. So this might also be particularly important for you if you have Pisces, Aries, or Libra placements, or if you have Mars in any of those signs, Neptune in any of those signs, or Venus in any of those signs, especially if you have Neptune, Mars, or Venus in 15 degrees Sag to 3 degrees Capricorn. You're special. And this reading is going to be for you. And it's most likely with the dice energy just being what they are, Pisces, Mars, and 7th house. It's asking you what partnerships, right? Not necessarily romantic, but how you partner with other people. How those partnerships in your life either breathe life into you or don't, and they need to get cut off, right? What part of the spiritual spectrum, Piscean energy, do they fall in? Are they a sacred adversary or a secret angel, you know, which is the 12th house that Pisces rules? It's a house of secrets, and sometimes we put demons on pedestals because of that energy, and sometimes we vilify angels because of that energy. And really understanding your 12th house will help you. Doing the deep work inside your 12th house will really help you align with what you were meant to in this life. And so it's important to note, right? It's important to note. I was literally, speaking of Pisces, right? Pisces rules like music and the arts and creativity and acting and all that stuff. I came across a song that I posted on the channel here. I caught it on TikTok. The artist is Isaac Mather, and it's called Lose It All. And I heard it and just literally just started bawling my eyes out. And who I thought of, what brought me to tears, why it hit me, was because of my soul family. My soul family would bring me to absolute tears listening to that song. Because without you guys, like, y'all breathe life into me. I don't know what I would do if every single one of you disappeared. Like, I would be so lost. I would not know what the fuck to do with myself. Like, y'all are the reason. Y'all are the reason, and you've been the reason for 8 years now. You know, like, you guys are more amazing than I think you give yourself credit for. You guys are the reason why I still do what I do. And when you guys remind me that you're still going and you're still here and you're better off because of me, like, that's mutual, babe. That's mutual. That is a beautiful cycle right there, you know, where we just water each other. And I need y'all to know that, like, you guys are amazing and you keep the ripple going. Like, I would not be here if y'all didn't continue to show up and love life, love it more than you did yesterday. You know, I had a soul sister. I was going to go out driving tonight, and Spirit told me not to. Like, Spirit knows I got bills and shit, and I was going to go out driving, like Uber and Lyft and stuff, and Spirit said, no, I'm going to keep you home. It's important. So I was like, okay. A couple hours go by. I get a message from my soul sister, and she pretty much said she was having a hard time. And the instant response was to just call. Just call her. Like, you are not going to cry alone. You are not going to cry and feel bad alone. Like, I'm here. And we talked for about an hour and a half. And she felt so much better at the end. And I was like, this is the fucking reason. Like, money is not the reason. Going out driving, like, to make money and stuff, like, that is not the reason why I'm here on this earth. The reason is you. The reason is you. And you will always, always come first. Spirit guides me to stay the fuck home. It's for you. It is for you. Like, that's how much Spirit loves you. That's how important you are. You know what I mean? That's how amazing and beautiful you are. That's how much Spirit looks out. It kept me home tonight, and I knew it. I knew as soon as I hung up the phone there, I was like, that's why, Spirit. That's why. She's that important. She's that important to Spirit, and therefore she's that important to me. Like, I would have been so upset if I was out driving and didn't have a chance to get to that message until tomorrow. Like, that could not wait until tomorrow. That was, I am calling you immediately. And I did. She don't ever message me like that. So of course everything stopped, you know, everything stopped. And that's the point. Like, y'all are the reason. The reason is you. The reason is you. The reason why we're here is connection. It's not about money. It's about you. And maybe some of y'all just needed that reminder. So with that, Ophiuchus is a guide. And I think we are going to get balls deep in guidance. So let's see what is going on. This is the Wisdom Oracle. Let's get an overall for whoever needs it in divine time, because I know with the algorithm, you are definitely catching me in divine time. It is not the algorithm that brought you here. It's Spirit. It's Spirit. Spirit brought you here. So what is it? Who needs the reminder? What is going on? What is going on? I love you, Lala. Mm-hmm. That's what she said too. In so many words, that's exactly what she said too. Oh my God. That's why I'm here. It's you guys. 100%. Fork in the road, blessed in milk and honey. Theme. The Y card is on the bottom. And peace. That's why. Peace. When we have thoughts, right? We are not our thoughts, but we have them all the time. And if you're asking yourself questions like, well, do they like me? What if this happens? What if that happens? Will they accept me? Am I good enough? Are they the right person? Whenever you have questions popping up inside your mind, those thoughts, right? They're not your thoughts, they're in your head. But you've got to ask yourself, why? Why are you asking the question? Why is the thought there? If you're asking, well, what if? When spirit guides you, it's a no-brainer response. There are no questions. When you align with the right people, you're not asking yourself questions. You're just grateful they're there. Like, thank God I met you. Thank God I crossed your path. I didn't ask not one question why any of you are in my life. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to my soul. There are no questions. If we're asking questions, is it really guided by spirit, this person or this situation? Or is there a reason why you would consider or go down a certain path that you're not aware of? And I guarantee you, 99 times out of 100, maybe 99.999999999, it's because there's something healing. Because what is an alignment for you? There is no second guessing. There's no second guessing. It just makes sense. I don't question why I do what I do. It just makes sense. You guys being in my life, it just makes sense. I don't ask. If I'm asking the questions, I got to ask myself why it matters. Well, does this person like me? Are they going to accept me? Is their family going to accept me? Ask, why does it matter? Why does that question matter? If they're in alignment with me and I'm in alignment with them, no one gives a fuck about that question. Any of them. When we are at choice points, right, fork in the road, we have to remember 3 things. 1 is peace. 2 is that we're blessed. And 3 is that life is meant to be sweet. Milk and honey is a reminder that life is meant to be sweet. Our soul does not forget, like an elephant, right, on the card, does not forget its way to the watering hole. It does not forget through generations and generations. It doesn't forget the way to water. What's water? What is it a metaphor for? Love. That's why the symbols on this card are so important. There's an elephant sitting in the milk and honey. Our soul does not forget that life is meant to be sweet. That's why when things hurt, we can only take so much and then we got to let it go because we're not meant to suffer. It doesn't feel good. So we have to ask ourselves the questions when we are at choice points with people or situations and circumstances or places. Have I outgrown this place? Do I see a future for me here? Do I feel guided to stay? Can I take the big leap that Spirit's been pushing me towards? We got to remember that peace is the goal of the soul and that we are truly blessed and that life was meant to be sweet. It was meant to be enjoyed. It was meant to be enjoyed. So if you're at a crossroads, ask yourself the why question. Why am I at this choice point? Because on one side, you could force it forward and see what happens, see if it works out, see if they reach the potential that doesn't actually exist in the reality. It's potential because it doesn't exist. You can go down that path, or you can trust that you're blessed and life is meant to be sweet and the goal is peace. And if you're being prompted with questions, is it really being guided to you by spirit that loves you? Ask yourself why. You know, I was talking to her about the guy that I was talking to, and it just wasn't, I wasn't being pulled in that direction. You know, it wasn't anything he did or didn't do. It was just, I wasn't being pulled in that direction. So I asked myself, why then am I continuing to pursue it? Why am I making time for it in my life and making it important when I'm not actually guided to it? Why? Because of the what ifs? Because of potential? Like, I was asking myself, like, I wonder if his family will accept me. Why am I asking that question? Why do I want to be accepted? Why am I afraid that who I am is not good enough in this situation with this person? Why am I nervous? Because if it were in alignment, truly, I'd feel pulled to it. It'd be a no-brainer. It'd be a no-brainer. It'd be the easiest choice I made all day. To me, going live is that easy. Like, spirit guides me, that's it. I'm going live. That's it. It's a no-brainer. I don't have to ask spirit why. I don't worry about whether or not I'm accepted here. I know I am. Even if no one showed up again ever, I accept myself here. I'm accepted here, period. And anybody who would call my shit witchcraft like they did earlier in the live, like, thank you for making yourself known. Like, thank you. Because if that's the way you're looking at me and that's the label you're slapping on it, like, you are not my person. You are not my inner crowd. You are not my circle. Godspeed. Like, wherever your healing is intended to be, it's not with me. That's fine. Right? I'm not less than because you don't understand what an intention candle is and aren't open-minded enough to hear me out. Like, if it don't resonate with you, that's fine. You're on your own journey. You're an NPC in my world. Like, go be in your main character energy somewhere else. To me, you're an NPC. Just regurgitate the shame shit. You know? Like, ask yourself the why questions. Because like I said, you are not your thoughts, but your thoughts are an awareness of your energy and what you're connected to and what you want to do and where you're going in this life. Even today, like my son, I didn't have anybody, like listening to that song by Isaac Mathers, like I didn't have anybody in my life genuinely worth anything until my son was born. He's the first person I would have listened to that song and fucking cried over. The first and only person. I was 21. I didn't have a single person in my life worth crying over until he was born. I was 21. And I didn't meet the next person worth crying over until 10 years later when I started my Readings, Healings, and Pathways group online. I didn't meet my first soul fam here on the channel 10 years later. And now I have multiple people I would fucking bawl my eyes out over if anything ever happened to them. Like, if I could take all the pain in the world, if I could take it all away so they didn't have to feel a goddamn thing. Like, that's what drives me every day. I don't want any of y'all to feel pain. I don't want you to. I'd rather feel it all. It took a long time to find people worth burning the fucking world down over. I didn't have anybody in my life until my son was born. And now I've got many. God help the souls. God help the fucking people and the NPCs that would hurt my soul fam, because I would burn the world down. I would burn the world down. Those are the people I love. Those are the people that breathe life into me. You're going to hurt them. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, you don't know the dragon in me. I'm a crazy Sag, but you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You know? Oh my God. And I don't got to hurt you to hurt them. I just got to make them happy. I just got to make sure they're good and living their best life, because there is nothing like revenge better than a glow up. There is nothing better than healing. And I will be guided every fucking day to serve that highest good until you can't fucking stand yourself. Don't mess with my soul fam. Or we'll heal right out of it, right? Like, that's just my mindset. Like, you don't even fucking know. You don't even know how much I love y'all so much. And it's a reminder, you know, and I told my son, I was like, you don't even know how many people you helped. He doesn't even know how many people he's reached and helped. Because if it wasn't for him getting me through that 10 years before I had met y'all, he got me through that 10 years. Days where I didn't feel like going on, days where I didn't know what my purpose was, days when I felt empty, days when I didn't know what spirit was doing and I didn't understand and I was in a ton of pain trying to heal. Like, he kept me going. And if he didn't keep me going, I would not be here. He is just as responsible. Right? Just as responsible. I told him, I said, you don't even know how amazing you are. You don't even know how valuable you've been and how beautiful that makes you. I just started fucking crying talking to him. Like, you guys are so amazing. You're so amazing. The strength of you. Y'all are here healing, listening to me rip it wide open with no filter, because someone has to say it like it is. Someone has to say it like it is and call it out. That's why Spirit has me here, Divine Voice Box. And y'all are here. And y'all are here, taking it in and healing, getting better. Like, at the end of the day, if you take nothing else from me or this channel ever, there is no greater connection, no more important connection than the connection that you have with Spirit right here. I could give a million readings and I could advise in a million different ways. But you have to trust right here. That voice you got, that connection you have with Spirit. There is nothing more important than that. And I can't possibly know what is in your highest good. You've got to trust your path. You've got to trust Spirit. You got to be able to ask yourself the why questions and have control over your thoughts so that they don't control you. You have to be able to listen to a song and let yourself feel what's important. I heard that song, Lose It All. And I was like, I know what is the most important thing to me in this life. Because that's who I'd cry over. That's who I would cry over. There is nothing and no one more important than my soul family. Let yourself be moved. Let yourself become aware. It's a no-brainer to me. Who am I crying over? I couldn't force those tears out the wrong person if I tried. Yeah. Spirit has me live right now because someone needs the reminder, now or in divine time, how important you are. That there are people still alive. There are people healing because you exist. Because you exist. And you are the wings for people that I will never meet. Your strength is amazing. Your presence is divine. And we are blessed in this life to have each and every one of you here on this earth. We are so blessed. The strength of you. I could cry right now. The strength of you. No, it's not that time of the month, and no, the moon is not in Cancer. just fucking crying. The strength of you. The world is blessed because you're in it. The world is blessed because you're in it. Don't ever forget that. If you never watch another video on my channel, the world is blessed because you're in it. The universe has your back, deck. Because it does. Because it does. Yeah. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. Hummingbird synchronicities. Trust your spirit. The more energy and tension you bring to your faith, remembering, right? Remembering that you were supported by the divine. Remembering that the divine makes it easy. It makes it easy. You know, my soul sister tonight, she was like, you know, I make it so hard on myself sometimes. I make life so difficult. I was like, and that was the old version of you that you are evolving out of. The new you, the mantra is, I make life easy on myself. I choose my peace. What makes me happy? Joy. Right? Put more energy and tension to your faith. Trust. Be reminded of who you are. Be reminded of who you are. When you know that the divine supports you, when you do have your angels as above and so below. She had no clue when she sent me that message that I was going to call her in less than 60 seconds. No brainer. Instantly, just called her. Like, when you lean into faith, even at your low moments, you are still supported. You are still supported. Please be reminded to be fearless in who you are and embrace the freedom in that. Embrace the freedom in that. Like, we all go through this healing process. I reminded her, you know, like when people get on a bike for the first time, they don't know how to ride it like a pro and pop wheelies and shit. They don't fucking know. They fall on the ground. They bump their head. They scrape their knees open. Maybe they break their fucking shin. You know, like, it's painful to try and fail and to try again and fail. But every single time you get back on, you are a little bit better than you were last time. And if you keep practicing, before you know it, you could ride that bike in your sleep. You could not ride that bike for 20 years, pop on it, and remember. It's no different with the healing when we're practicing being a new version of ourselves, a healed version of ourselves. It's no different. At first, you're going to fall off. It's going to hurt real bad. But you're going to get back up and you're going to learn to trust yourself again. Because that's what we're doing. We never really listened to our intuition before. We always had it. We always say in hindsight, I wish I listened to my gut on that one. I had a feeling. But we get better at it. We get better at it. Maybe you would have stayed in a toxic relationship for 10 years. Maybe the next one, it only lasted 4 years. Maybe the next one, it only lasted a year. Maybe the next one, it only lasted 3 weeks. And maybe now you could spot toxic before you even let it get off the ground. And all of a sudden, you're not falling anymore. You're practicing listening to your intuition. You're not going to be perfect at it at first. You're not used to it. It's new. It's going to take some time to train. But once you get it and you know what that intuition is, you know those pings. You hear the questions going off in your head. Well, I wonder if they'll accept me. I wonder if I'm good enough, or what if this happens, or what if they really are the one? Like, as soon as you start hearing the questions in your head, you thought they were your own for the longest time. But once you start to train yourself and recognize the thoughts and be like, why am I having those thoughts? Why? Why? Is it because I don't think I could get better? Is it because I don't feel worthy of being my whole self and shining? It's because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think? Why am I having that thought? Because the chances are, if you're asking the question, there's fear behind it. Love doesn't fear. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't. And your intuition will guide you all the time to what matters the most to you in soul. The more energy and intention you bring to your faith, the more fearless and free you are. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a muscle you got to train. Yeah. Yeah. I choose to learn through love. You can choose to learn through pain if you want. But love's a better teacher. Choose to learn through love. If things are painful and you did have to learn the hard way, you can get through it with love. You can find gratitude. You can find forgiveness. You can find understanding. You can choose to learn through love. I can't tell you how many hard lessons I went through because I didn't listen to my intuition. Can't tell you how many times I got the red flags or the pings that something was off. And when I refused to acknowledge my intuition, I had people in the outer experience giving me a warning like, hey, I know that you think this person is like the best ever and he's your twin flame and shit, but he's fucking crazy and he ain't gonna know what he's got until it's gone, honey. Like, he's gonna fuck you up. He's gonna fuck with your head. He's gonna fuck with your heart. He's gonna break you in a million pieces. Like, pretty much was warned. It was like, no, I believe in love. And I spent years wondering if I was good enough, why I wasn't good enough, like wondering if he cared, wondering if he thought of me, like all this shit. And if I asked myself, Grace, why are you asking those questions? Why? Fear. I wanted to be lovable. And he reminded me of certain things in my parents that I had to heal. Now, God knows, if I didn't listen to my own intuition, y'all would bring it to my attention. My son would. Someone would. And I was like, wow, what did I miss? Because they obviously see something I was refusing to see. I got to bring myself in. Rain check. Why? Why am I having the thoughts that I'm having and feeling pulled the way I'm feeling pulled? What lesson do I got to learn? Can I choose to learn with love, or do I want to learn through pain? Do I want to learn the hard way? Do I need to learn the hard way? Because if I could stop and ask myself that question, I promise you I'm not going to learn the hard way. If I can just pause enough to ask myself why. Why does this specific person or this specific job or this specific place or this specific whatever matter so much? Why? What feeling am I chasing in the outer that spirit cannot provide me from within myself? What feeling am I chasing in the outer experience that I don't believe I am fully capable of creating myself with spirit? I think I've finally figured out how to get on the bike and ride it without falling off. You can choose to learn through love. You don't have to learn the hard way. God knows if you're asking yourself a question, I got timeless message here. I got pick a card readings here. Like, if you're asking yourself why, pop into one of my playlists, because I guarantee you, if you are guided to something, your answer is going to be in there. It's going to be in there. Spirit will not let you down. You do not have to learn the hard way. And if it's not me, find your favorite fucking reader. They do messages in divine time, guidance cards. Like, trust your soul family. Trust them. They are your angels here. They are divinely guided to do what they do. I know I am not the only one. Whoever it is that you trust your soul with, your best friend, whoever it is, you need a message, it is there. You do not have to learn the hard way. I think we've been through enough of that. I think we've been through enough of that. On a real note, I'm going to pull the Crystal Mandala Oracle. Fuck it. We'll pull Rumi too. Why not? Why not? The time is now and it's ours. It's ours. All right. Spirit, please. What is the divine reminder that we need at this time? What guidance above all others? We got 2. Card 44 and card 12. Goddess Bastet and Cat's Eye was Sacred Pleasure. And Angel Raziel and Peter Sight, Storm Wisdom. For those of you who do not know who Angel Raziel is, some people classify him as an archangel. Angel Raziel is Merlin. He's rumored to be incarnated here on Earth as Merlin and other quote-unquote magicians. He's the magic of God. The magic of God. Fucking love our angels. We'll finish with that one before we get into Rumi. I'm going to start with Sacred Pleasure. Let's start with Sacred Pleasure. Card number 44. Goddess Bastet, man. You got cats. Their purring is sacred. Sacred Pleasure. It says, we bring you the empowerment of sacred pleasure. It is said that the spirit had to be enticed into the body to give up its complete freedom and willingly take on an experience of limitation that could lead to divine growth. It needed the deal to be sweetened. So music was created. Music that could only be felt and expressed through the body. Spirit jumped in like a flash and life was created. There is more life that can be created in you and your world. Although there are undoubtedly struggles as a natural part of opening up to more life, there is divine sweetness too. That is the gift of sacred pleasure. This is the pleasure that gives you joy in your aliveness. It is innocent, sensual, and life-affirming. It is time for you to receive more of this. The oracle says it's time to put a little sugar in your bowl. It's time to put a little sugar in your bowl. Pleasure and pain are part of the dance of life. You can enjoy pleasure without fearing you'll become addicted to it and no longer be able to bear your pain. In fact, knowing you have access to genuine natural pleasure can be a way to manage pain more effectively. It might seem strange, but there can be an addiction to pain just as much as an addiction to pleasure. Perhaps even more so considering the state of most people's lives these days. Pain has its rightful place in life, but pleasure does too. For many people, there is actually pain that arises when they first learn how to feel genuine pleasure. Confusion, shame, guilt, and fear of being lazy can enter the mind and cause tension in the body, making it difficult to let go and be in an experience of enjoyment. Pleasure is a form of release. It is about surrender and letting go into the moment. The oracle comes to you with healing guidance. The universal mother knows you have suffered and wants to sweeten your deal. If you allow her, she will assist you in purging the self-loathing that has placed you in a painful bind of fear-based control. She will help you love yourself so you can experience the sacred pleasure your life is meant to bring you. If you have already done this work on yourself and find that bringing sacred pleasure to others through loving consciousness is a part of your life's mission and soul purpose, the oracle brings you confirmation of this. There is value in teaching strength, and there is value in providing a safe way for others to experience the sacredness of pleasure as an act of loving life. Life was meant to be enjoyed. I have said it a million times on this channel. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Pain has its place. It's a powerful teacher, but it's not the only one. It's not the only one. Enjoying your life, that life would be a pleasure. I mean, think about it. It's talking about song. It's talking about music, and that was the reason why the soul jumped into the body. And I heard that song. I heard that song first and thought about my son. And then I ended up on the phone with my soul sis. And it crossed my path a second time, and I cried all over again for a whole different reason. And it was because you guys. What breathes life into you? What's the reason? When you hear music like that, like there's no way I could have heard that song and not thought of y'all. And not broke down fucking crying. Being so fucking grateful. Being so grateful to understand truly what the purpose for me being here is. Allow life to move you. Allow yourself to feel song. Allow yourself to feel through the emotions. Allow yourself to ask the question, why? Why? Is it contributing to your peace, or can you find forgiveness for the pain and let it go? We had a conversation about it earlier, like most cuts and bruises and stuff we don't cause ourselves. Some we do. But most oftentimes when we get scraped up by something, it's caused by something else. If we fall off the bike, the ground scrapes our knees, cuts them up. The ground is not going to clean your wound and make it better. You are responsible to clean it and take care of it, to make sure it heals correctly and doesn't get worse. It's no different with the soul. We didn't bring a lot of these wounds on ourselves. Some of them we did, but chances are it was something else outside of you that hurt. And you're responsible for the healing of it. You're responsible to take care of that wound so that it doesn't get worse, so that you don't bleed on people who didn't cut you, right? If you can accept and embrace your healing, life is sweet. The pain does not have to persist. It does not have to repeat. We can repeat cycles for millennia and eons. We can if we want to, but we don't have to. We don't have to shy away from it. Spirit guided me to that song by the band Live. It was back in the 1990s called Dolphins Cry. I shared it here on the channel. It's in the post tab. Love will lead us. She will lead us. Like, can you hear the dolphins cry? Love will lead us. And it's true. Let love lead. Let pleasure in life. I'm not talking about, primal sex pleasure. Like, this is about pleasure in life, enjoying life, the rhythm of life, the people in your life, the places of your life. Letting the pain be the teacher that got you there, but not the bullshit that persists after you done learned it. You don't go back to third grade and learn third grade lessons after you've graduated third grade. You're on the fourth grade lessons now. At some point, you graduate. You are not in school forever. You graduate. And you live your life after. Pain was a great teacher. You felt it. Pain was a great teacher. You learned a lot. But you've outgrown that teacher now. You've graduated that. You are not in the college of pain and bullshit anymore. You graduated. Now you are learning from a different teacher. It's called peace and joy and feeling blessed. And you're learning how to receive it. It's teaching you how to receive it. This school is teaching you how to listen to your intuition. It rewards you when you do. I listened to my intuition tonight and didn't go out driving. I could not have had a greater reward in life. More pleasure than being there for my solstice today. That was the best part of my day. Being there for her was the best part of my day. Seeing the change in her from the beginning of the phone call to the end of the phone call, that was worth everything. Pain does not have to be your teacher forever. Storm wisdom. Card number 12. Angel Raziel and Peter Sight. We bring you the gift of storm wisdom. This is the fierce cleansing nature of divine compassion made manifest in the world. Storm wisdom thrills the spirit, for it understands that so much benefit and liberation will come from the process. Yet the mind may quake at the prospect of such little control over how your life events are unfolding for a time. What is happening during an experience of storm wisdom is that anything that has become stagnant or obstructing your spiritual growth will be uprooted. You may find that the divine storm of transformation powering through your life creates a feeling of upheaval, creative chaos, uncertainty, and divine excitement. You may feel simultaneously liberated and exhilarated while also wondering if everything is going to be okay. You must remember that you will only be asked to give up something in order to receive that which is far more beautiful and supportive of your sacred life journey. You must also remember that the cleansing power of the storm will revitalize you, bring you fresh energy and perspective to take forward in your journey, and is a divine blessing which will only bring good into your life. While the mind often wants to hold on and maintain the status quo, fearing change, The soul thrills at the prospect of joy, happiness, and fulfillment that growth brings. It is so devoted to the manifestation of divine love in the world that it is willing to go through growing pains to bring the inspiring, vitalizing life of the spirit into the beautiful form of the body. The soul knows that temporary discomfort can bring tremendous gains for the spiritual path, and ultimately far greater joy and pleasure in life for the body too. The mind may need reassurance from the heart that all will be well during times of great change, and the wild blessing of storm wisdom is such a time. Perhaps you have already felt a sense of discontent or restlessness in your body, mind, or soul, feeling that a change is needed, even if you aren't sure what that might best be. Or perhaps you are feeling that your life has finally settled down and you are quite happy for it to remain as it is for years to come. No matter whether you are in the midst of the storm of change already, just recovering from it, or waiting for it to move its cleansing grace through your life, know this: storm wisdom is love in action. It is not going to harm you, and you do not need to fear it. It is going to cleanse you on all levels and allow for more life, vitality, purpose, and passion to enter into your world. You will love the outcome that eventually manifests for you as the blessings take shape. But you will need to reassure yourself that even amongst great change, whether that be something more internal or shows up as big external changes in your life, it is safe to trust. When storm wisdom comes to you, there's a special message for you. If you are ready or are already in the midst of transformational change and you cannot see any end in sight, or you are worried that the changes are going to be devastating, have faith. Have faith. The storm is wild, yes, but it is filled with grace. You are being helped, and you shall come through this. And the reason the storm was needed in your life is because a gentler method would not have been sufficient to free you. Divine intervention and protection, liberation and purpose is behind the raging storm through your life. It is love that moves you. So go with it and don't resist. If you feel emotional as you read these words, then you are recognizing the truth. Trust in the process of your feelings and know that all will be well according to a compassionate higher wisdom. If you do not yet see the storm in your life, then don't be afraid. This oracle can indicate a time when there is much movement after a period of stagnancy where nothing seems to be moving forward. It's the burst of fresh air and life that increases your vitality and inspires you, whipping you up in a loving whirlwind of new opportunity, connection, love. There are those minds that fear the storms of life because they don't trust in the benevolence of the universe and how much they are actually loved. There are those that trust, love, and feel loved in life. And they are the ones that stand head tilted up, arms flung wide open, dancing in the rain as it pours down and the wind howls and the fresh, cold air cleanses the body, mind, and soul. Be the lover of life who boldly receives love's grace. Let change be a welcome gift of love's eternal grace, for that is what it is in truth. Angel Raziel is the magic of life. That's why they say be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. When you get what you wish for, Sometimes you don't even realize it's the healing that you needed. Hey Carly, how you doing? My fellow night owl. Life is meant to be enjoyed. And if you're catching this message, remember that you're blessed and that you're probably being called into a storm of change, of divine love, that you will likely be uprooted, or that people in your life will be uprooted out of it. You might relocate. You might find a whole new crowd of friends. And if you gotta let it go, it's because you're making room for something better, something more beautiful. If I didn't leave my family, my blood family, which was painful, and the storm was fucking nuts, I wouldn't have met my soul fam. I wouldn't have met y'all. The people that have me hear songs like that and I just fucking cry. Because that's how much you guys matter. The power of you, right? We talked about this at the very beginning of the live. The beauty and the power and the strength in you is the reason why Spirit guides me every day. It's why Spirit guides me the way that it does, and has for years. The beauty of you. Let yourself go through the storms. Let yourself embrace the rain and the wind and the lightning, the revelation that comes with it. There's a lot of water in storms. That's a lot of love. There is lightning in storms. That's revelation. There is wind, which is the mind swirling with new thoughts and asked questions like why. Listen to your intuition. Listen to that voice inside. If it's a no-brainer, it's a no-brainer. Sometimes you need to accept it today so that Spirit can ping you and guide you in the right direction tomorrow. You just got to accept your truth today. If your truth is that you know you are not meant to stay where you're at, accept it today and let Spirit guide you tomorrow. Let Spirit guide you. Spirit, I accept this truth. I know I'm not meant to be here. When you ping me about it, I'm going to listen. When I get that intuitive nudge, I'm going to listen. It's a no-brainer. It's an easy choice to make. I'm going to listen. I know I'm not meant to stay here where I'm at in Illinois. It's not where I'm meant to stay. I accept it. Spirit, ping me when you need me. I'll listen. I'll listen. Whatever I need, take it. Take it. If I don't need it, I know that new will come in. If I need it, you're going to give it to me. It'll be replaced with better. It's okay. If you feel like you can't grow anymore where you're at and you're not guided to stay, it's okay to move. Let Spirit move you. Hey, Bridget. Long time no see. Divine timing as always. Yes. Yes. Trust that Spirit will take you where it needs to take you. If you don't feel guided to stay, then you don't feel guided to stay. Then you don't feel guided to stay. You know, when I left my job, my first job back at, it was down the street. I'm not going to say it because, you know, there's just weirdos online. I'm not trying to give away the place that I live to everybody, but I got a job down the street as a fabricator, you know, working on airplane and helicopter engines, and I loved the job. And then I started listening to Spirit. Like, why am I here? You know, there's a reason why these people are in my mirror. What are the lessons? What do I need to see in myself? What do we have spiritually in common that I'm seeing these people? And when I started to put two and two together and I started connecting the spiritual dots, I swear to God, I knew I was not meant to stay in that job. I knew it. And I said, Spirit, I trust. I trust you will pull me out of this place when the time is right, and I'll listen. 3 days later, one of my coworkers just drove me up a fucking wall, and I could not picture not one more second working with this person. And Spirit guided me out. I didn't think twice about it. I didn't even ask any questions. I literally was watching my body move in alignment. And I picked up my stuff, and I took my little time card and my little stamp, and I walked it down to my boss's office and left it on his desk and walked out. Walked out. I knew I wasn't meant to stay. And Spirit gave me that guidance. Today is the day, and now is the time. Okay, Spirit, I accept. And I walked out. Didn't have any other job lined up, which sounds crazy. Didn't have any other job lined up. Found one in 2 days. Put feelers out on Indeed, found a job in 2 days. Had things to learn at this job. People were in my mirror. My soul fam knows I was gone for 3-4 months. Off the fucking radar. Martyring myself into oblivion for this company. Why? I had a lesson to learn. And the day it hit me that I fucking hate it, I hate it. I don't love it anymore. I'm miserable here. I miss my soul family. Screamed it at my HR on the phone when I quit. I miss my soul family. I put out feelers for Indeed this time. Didn't work out. Was not meant to go back into another corporate job. I did, however, get approved for Uber and Lyft, which has been a blessing in and of itself when Spirit has guided me to do it. And everything else, anything else I've needed, sometimes I haven't even needed to Uber or Lyft. Sometimes it's come in through other ways. And now my son's over here saying he wants to help me. He doesn't want me to go back to work. He wants me to be able to do my readings. He doesn't want me to feel like I got to work like that. He said he'll do it. And he's kind of excited. Trust. If you are not meant to be somewhere and you don't like it and it doesn't feel good and you got a toxic boss, right? Ask yourself what you have in common with him spiritually, that he's in your mirror. Think about that one. He thinks he doesn't have a purpose beyond his mundane job. Life is purposeless. He just goes to work and does what he does. He has a lot of pressure to be that. Do you feel that you don't have a purpose outside of what you're doing and are putting a lot of pressure on yourself to be what other people expect you to be? Because that sounds like common ground to me. But if you know that you have a purpose that's greater and you're not meant to be at that job, well, then you can thank the mirror. Thank you. Because you suck. And I don't. And I'm not gonna, like, have faith. Have faith. If you feel like you're guided to stay at that job because you have great coworkers and you love them and you feel like that's where you're meant to be, trust that boss ain't going to last there forever. Matter of fact, he might not last long at all. You never know. Spirit might just simply remove him. Spirit might just remove him. I've had that happen in my life too, where people sucked. They just had to go. So Spirit dealt with it. What is in your highest good is in your highest good. And I trust that if it feels good, you are meant to be there. If it doesn't feel good, you're probably not meant to be there. You're probably meant to learn something there. And that's the crux of this whole reading, right? That's the crux of the reading. Remember that you are blessed, that peace is the purpose, joy is the purpose. We do not forget the way. We just got to listen to our intuition and ask ourselves why. My last job, I loved my team. As a general manager, I loved my team. And it felt shitty to be there. It still felt so shitty to be there. And I had to trust that if my soul family, my crew was meant to be in my life beyond that day, that they would reach out to me. And if they weren't guided to reach out to me, then there was no future there with them anyway. They will learn and they will live and they will heal and they will figure it out another way. Who knows? Maybe they'll be reminded of me from some weird spark moment, whatever. And they'll be like, you know what? That reminds me of Grace. What the hell is she doing these days? Didn't she have a YouTube channel or something? Like, they'll find me if they're meant to find me. But if they're not, what am I suffering for? What am I suffering for? I would rather be here. Right here. Y'all breathe life into me. Yeah. You know a new place is coming? Yeah. And it will. And it will. You feel it coming? Trust. All you got to do is make space spiritually for it right here. Spirit, I accept. New is coming. I'm willing to let this go. You give me the word and I'm out. Guide me in between. Put me where you need me. Let me be of highest service wherever you take me, to myself and all others. Let me live in the highest for myself and all others. That's how love wins. That's how love wins. Yeah, you've learned it. Yeah. Yeah. The truth. There is the truth that the world would want you to believe, and then there's the divine truth, that conversation between you and spirit that is exclusive between you and spirit, that trust that you have. That truth leads to the sacred pleasure of life, leads to the peace in life, the blessed feelings, the sweetness. Yeah. Yeah. You can identify it a mile away. Yeah. Yeah. The wounds, the wounds are in our stars. We all have Saturn. We all have Chiron. We all have Pluto. We all have South Node. Like, we all have wounds. And they'll always be there. Just like a rock in the road when you're riding your bike. And it might throw you off for a second. And maybe if you had just started learning how to ride a bike and you went over a rock, you'd lose your balance and fall, and the narcissist would get the better of you. But you've been practicing to ride this bike for quite some time, and those little rocks in the road, you run over them for fun. You can dip and dodge out the way if you want, but sometimes we ride over them just for fucking fun, to prove that we don't fall. Maybe we used to, but we don't anymore. Right? The beautiful lights of this world. All of you, the beautiful lights of this world. What's coming? We've been training just for this, because there's a lot of people going to be asking, how do I ride that bike? How do I ride that bike? What does listening to your intuition feel like? How do you know it's your intuition? How do you know it's not fear, right? They're going to learn discernment first. And then once they learn discernment, they got to learn trust. Trusting their discernment. And once they discern, and once they know how to trust, then they got to take action. They got to learn how to trust the actions that come along with it. They got to trust in their strength. It's a process. We know. We've been here doing it. We know. There's going to be a lot of people asking how to learn. That's why it was so important for us to learn. Pain was our teacher, because we were the strongest of the strongest, able to not only deal with the pain, but actually learn from it and not succumb to it or give in to it or perpetuate and ruminate in it. We are the strongest of the strong. And we're going to be called to teach. Wherever Spirit, God, Source, Creator would take us to teach. We're not afraid of the rocks in the road. Y'all are strong as fuck. Strong as fuck. The beauty of you. How many times we were afraid of change and now we can't wait. Like, yes, bring the storm, bring the rain, bring the wind, bring the lightning, bring it. I will race towards the storm. I'm not running from it anymore. I know what the storm does. It cleanses me, it nourishes me, and the faster I run into it, faster it's gone. And the storm is past and you get to experience the rainbow, the sweetness that comes after. A reminder to hold gratitude for the third grade lessons that pain had to teach. But you've graduated out of that now. You're not in third grade anymore. And the textbook isn't called Pain 101. It's called Pleasure 101. That's the next one up. Remember that you've graduated. Remember that you've graduated. We're going to pull one more card from Rumi before we go. I know how y'all love Rumi. All right. Spirit, please, what card above all others? In closing, for the most beautiful soul fam I could have possibly ever asked to know. The lion and the deer. The lion and the deer. Card number 22. Card number 22. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly toward heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant like the light. When you become thin like hair in yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. Rumi. You are the lion and the deer. You are bold, fierce, and vibrant, and you are silent, sweet, and gentle. If I should come to you in arrogance, you roar at me until my falsehood quakes in fear. So terrified, it gives up the game and love's conquest happens yet again. If I should come to you in surrendered adoration, open to whatever you may wish, you are so gentle with me. Like a deer, you offer me nothing to fear or resist, so that I too become sweet and gentle, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then, I do not fear my own errors, for even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. Even if I become weak, I shall draw succor, evoking the tenderness in you. Whatever is needed to keep me true to love, is what you give me. For you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and sweet like the deer, gentle as the mildest breezes of spring. Hello, my old friend. Do you remember me? We are the oldest of friends. Ancient soulmates we are, acquainted over many lifetimes past and through many lessons learned together in the school of love. So here we meet again in this advanced spiritual training of the human experience with the earth as our classroom. The moment is upon us to leave behind whatever we have once known and open up to the great mystery of life again. Our souls leapt from the divine oneness through the river of forgetfulness and now dive into a body and a life. What a journey that leap begins. Let us embark on this studious adventure together. Let us honor the tiger and the lamb within each, the lion and the deer. I can witness in you both the raging warrior who fights with unbreakable honor and the healer who brings together those things once torn apart. Of course, for are we not all things? Of course, for are we not all things? Are we not human and angel, animal and spirit? Are we not heaven and earth? Are we not divine? And in being divine, being all things are divine. So we are here together in the school of love, not for the soul who still adheres to preference instead of curiosity, not for the soul who craves comfort instead of devotion to the divine adventure. We must be like lovers, you and I, if we are to take these lessons. We must be willing to become mad with passion, crazy enough to chase the great beloved, even if it means forgetting who we are for a time, to have the sacred delight of rediscovery, breaking some rules and looking like fools. Well, what could be greater than becoming a fool for love? That will do for us. That will do well. Let us be fools for love together. We can become study mates. We'll recognize each other, even in all our varied garbs, bright and somber, wild or gentle. We'll become the most enthusiastic students in the school of love, urging each other on to even greater feats of passion and devotion. How shall we compete in outdoing each other in grand gestures of unwavering commitment? This oracle brings you a special message. You are rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be your true self is most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. You are asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talent from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. This discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, or about overcoming shame, guilt, or doubt, or others' judgments. It may even be about who you are. If you now admit your talent or other emerging personality traits. Perhaps what is being unearthed in you now is darker. Your sacred rage, your refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. Well then, remember you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both in the world. You are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming whole. This guidance of the oracle brings you that you shall prosper most now if you are willing to unbecome what you have believed yourself to be. It was never really true anyway, that view. It was partial at best, and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of your previous sense of self shall likely come with this transition into the fuller experience of your being. And some of that previous identity shall be shed as far too. It's far too limiting. It just won't feel true for you anymore, if it ever did. Any crisis or confusion this brings shall be temporary fuel to ignite the divine fires within. They simmer into life, cooking you from within, bringing all of your flavors, sweet and spicy, bitter and sour, into perfect balance, so that your being, your presence, becomes an exquisite dish served up as a divine feast. And it all begins with the shedding of the either and the or, and recognizing instead the all. With such wild permission for unconditional love, you shall thrive in your beingness and feed the hungry world of souls with a meal complete, satisfying, and exquisite. Rumi. Sometimes we are the angel in someone's story until we become the villain. And sometimes we are the villain in someone's story until they realize we are the angel. And both is exactly what we are meant to be. We are called to be the angel and called to be the villain. Not because we were truly either of those things, because we've always just been both. And people's choices and their lessons and their pathways require us to be all things. I can have beautiful conversations with you guys like this and remind you how absolutely grateful I am for each and every one of you. And then I could have moments where I'm reading cards and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck is this? And I'm asking you to get your head out of your divine ass. Like, you know, we're all things. Sometimes we're the angel in someone's life until we feel so fucking tread on and we're so over it that we put an end to it. And then they're like, well, you're an asshole because you stopped loving me. It's like, nah, bitch, you never loved me. I just became privy to it. And I'm not being this quote unquote punching bag for you anymore that you call angel. I'm real. I'm being real with you right now. Your attitude and treatment's bullshit. And I'm out. Happens with people in life all the time. I was an angel until my ex's life, until I was tired of his shit. And now I'm the villain. I'm the bad guy. That's fine. That's fine. I'm both then. I can be the lion. I enjoy being the deer. I absolutely love being the deer. I'm learning how to love the lion. Sometimes you gotta roar in the face of bullshit and call it for what it is. People who love you will readily embrace your roar as a sign that they stepped out of line, and they will apologize and make it right. And those who get indignant and want to call you a bitch, let them go. Someone else will be their teacher. They're still in third grade learning pain lessons. You graduated already. Like, you all might meet in the schoolyard, you know, the different grades mingle out there for like a half an hour. And then they go back to their grade and their lessons, and you go back to your grade and your lessons. Trust that you're both. You don't have to be socially acceptable all the time. You don't have to people please all the time. You don't have to feel obligated all the time. Matter of fact, the less you feel obligated in life, that's how you know you're around the right people. That's how you know. My son does not make me feel obligated to slave away in a factory or a GM job where I'm fucking miserable and hating my life. My son does not make me feel obligated to do that. Not a single person on my channel, not a single person made me feel obligated when I was going through my healing with my last company and I was gone for practically 4 months. Not a single one of you made me feel obligated to be back here, because I was learning. I was taking my finals in third grade. I was taking my finals. It was important. It took me 4 months. Not a single one of you made me feel obligated to come back here. That's how I know y'all are in alignment with me. You don't put the expectations on me. You don't put the obligations on me. You don't make me feel shitty for going through my own lessons. I got to be a student before I teach. I can only teach what I've learned. I can only teach what I've learned. People who make you feel obligated for them, ask yourself why. Why? Why do they want you obligated, and why do you feel the need to stay obligated? Because there's a lesson there. And it's in that third grade textbook that you probably still have sitting in your house because the teacher didn't need you to return it. They've got copies of that Pain 101 book for fucking millennia. They let you keep it just in case you needed a reminder. You can go back and refer to it at any time. Really. Thank you guys so much for being the greatest blessing in my life. The greatest blessing in my life. And thank you for being a blessing in the lives of people I will never get to touch and reach. Your ripple's beautiful. Your ripple's beautiful. And I only hope that I can support you to the best of my ability the way that y'all have supported me. That I can return that favor. Because y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea. Really. Thank you. Thank you. I love you guys. I'm going to go and I'm going to get some sleep. Because Spirit's going to guide me again tomorrow. I'm going to wake up tomorrow like, okay, Spirit, what are we doing today? And let it roll. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Hey, Shock, how you doing? Love you guys so much. You have a blessed morning, day, night, wherever you are in the world. And remember how loved you are. And not just by me. The divine loves you. The divine loves you so much, it guides me literally just for you. That's how special you are. Until we next meet. Bye, everybody.